If I am holding on to resentment or forgiveness, I pray for the willingness to forgive, affirming divine love through me forgives and releases all bitterness. If fear and worry seep into my thoughts, I remember God is the only presence and power active in the universe, affirming faith dissolves fear and restores peace. I align my thoughts and feelings with God's indwelling presence to live ever more peacefully. Let us then pursue what makes for peace for mutual upbuilding. Romans 14:19.
Let's take our statement of being together. But when we do so, let's pause after each line and just really take in what we're saying, what we're claiming, what we're stating is our truth. We so often throw words out without even being present. So I invite you just to take a deep breath and we go again. And set aside everything that you can. And come into this moment, this present moment, which is truly all that exists. As we say these words together. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Let's take those thoughts, those truths, those affirmations into our meditation. Again, take another collective breath, remembering we are one. With this perfect life, breathe that in. What would it look like if you believe that this life was perfect? Bring a picture to mind. We're to use the power of will to create this perfect life, this perfect love within our life, within our body, within our mind, within our heart. What would that look like to you? It helps you to put your hand on your heart and feel that beat. Feel the life that is living there. That heartbeat, that breath that required no will at all, other than the will of God, which is living through you, expressing as you. Every heartbeat beating perfectly in the rhythm of time. Every breath bringing into you this expression, this life, this love that you are made up of. use that power of will now to bring that love and that light in through the top of our heads and imagine that it touches every cell, every organ, every vein, every bone throughout your body, coming down from the top of your head through your ears. Imagine each one perfect, whole, and healthy. The back of your eyes, your mind, your thoughts, your memories. Releasing any tension, any resistance, any wounds. And see that that love and that light is making them whole right now in this moment as we continue to scan down through our throat. Allowing the words in our meditation to manifest in our hearts, moving down through our shoulders, our arms, our chest, our lungs, again as we continue to breathe. And notice this light that is breathing us as the Christ presence within us. Continue to send that light and that love down through your body, through your hips, through your legs, your knees, your feet, into the earth. Returning to that memory of wholeness, that oneness that we are ever present with in this perfect life. Now bring that light back up through the bottom of your feet, moving through your body, up through your mind, up through the top of your head, connecting you to all that exists in the world. One presence, one mind, one power. Bringing all that back down through you into your heart and send it out into the world, to your loved ones, to those you held in prayer, to your community. Sending that love, reminding each one of the light that resides within them. Sending it out even further out into the world. Throughout our state, throughout our country, throughout other countries, to every corner of the earth, into every mind, into every heart. Remembering that as we remember, we remind another. As we breathe in this one life, this one love, we breathe it in for every other. Listen now a little bit further into the minds and the hearts of anyone who may have forgotten. Anyone who may not know. To each heart where there may be worry or illness. We send understanding. We send grace. We send love. And now we bring each of those back into our heart. Into the places in our mind where sometimes we forget. In this moment, we return to that memory of wholeness, acknowledging the love, the light, the presence of God within us right here, right now. Always present, right where we are, God is always expressing through us and as us. Through each cell in our body that we brought our attention to. Through every breath, through every heartbeat, through every thought, through every memory, and through every anticipation. We remember that right there love is. Right there peace is. Right here, right now, love is. Right here, right now, peace is. God is everywhere present, within us, within one another. Even when it's invisible, right there, God is. Even when we don't understand, right there, God is. Let's take one more collective breath and just give a sense of gratitude for that assurance that we can never be separate. For that assurance that God is everywhere and we truly are one. One mind, one power. this space. Get ready to open up our eyes. Bring with you the willingness to notice, to see, to witness that presence within each other. Not only within these walls, but as we go out into the world, within those we don't even know. Be willing to see. Be willing to feel and to know. Deep breath. So look around and just look around this room. Check in with your heart. Can you feel that presence within you? Let's say these words of affirmation together. They never say, what a gorgeous day. They're like, oh my God, it is so hot and so humid. And then, we always say we want happy, we want more joy. And yet, we are almost always contradicting things. I've noticed a sign out front said a grudge is a heavy thing to carry. And yet we pack, our backpack is full, and then keep it on and refuse to let it go. Unforgiveness, grudges, all kinds of things. We have these patterns. Like, it's so hot and humid, so let's turn the air down so cold that we all wish we brought a sweater because we're freezing. then the winter we turned up so hot that we were like, naked in the house, I can't stand it anymore. I mean, have you noticed? Look within you and notice where your pattern directs you in the opposite direction from happiness. You don't even need a ticket. People, get ready, because I have a secret. It's up to you. It's up to you. What does happiness look like to you? I think it goes perfect with the power of the month. August is will. And will is this power that allows us to choose. Allows us to decide, to command even, to lead, to determine. I mean, this is all the stuff we talk about, right? In unity, our principles tell us our thoughts, our words, our actions. We run into meditations of our words, our mind, right? In alignment. All of this, we're creating our own experience. So during this Happiness Happens month, and I'll tell you, if you're one that likes stuff like that, go look it up. They have a fun calendar and different things, and they challenge you to do things like random acts of kindness or go out and spread joy, whatever that looks like to you. And if you have that within you, if you have that power within you, then why aren't you using it, is my question to you. What is it that causes you to go in the direction of, can you believe how bad the weather sucks today? Instead of, did you see the sunshine? On Thursday, we had a colleague in from Germany, and we planned this great day. This tour of the Ford Rouge plant, which I'd never seen before. It was fascinating. Now I kind of want to go work for Ford. I'm sure I was with the HR department, and when I said that, they didn't find that funny. Like, you can't quit. And then we did this big grand tour of Detroit, and as a local, I learned so much. And yet, it was interesting, because more than half of the group was like, it's just too hot, it's just too sweaty, I just can't. It's like, well, we knew what was coming. We even planned it. We created the plan. This wasn't random. Our colleague didn't even know what we were going to do. We all have the weather app on the TV. So how are you planning your life? What are you determining for yourself? Are you saying, I really don't do well with heat, so let's go walk for 5 hours downtown on an 89 degree day? I loved it. I had a blast. I mean, I didn't smell fabulous at the end probably, but that's what deodorant's for. But where are you doing that? I really challenge you to look inside. The thing is, happiness isn't something out there. It's something internal. We have to turn within. If you're expecting the other people around you to create it for you, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but they're probably going to let you down. Maybe not every time, but although you notice when the people that lift you up do let you down, it's almost worse than the ones that keep you feeling down, but you expect that. But when is the last time you really checked in with yourself and said, what do I need? What would make me happy? Personally, I do that often. I check in with my boundaries. I check in with my schedule. I think I said to Linda just a little while ago, I'm like, oh, you're in busy mode. And we do that, right? We stay in busy mode. But when's the last time you really checked in to see if everything you're keeping busy with is truly aligned with your spirit? If it makes a difference in the world or brings you joy? Because otherwise you're just spinning your wheels. I mean, you could be on a hamster wheel kicking out some productive stuff and not really getting anywhere, right? So happiness is not an outer achievement. It's not a destination to get to. If you think there is happiness, then that's kind of makes for a really long, uncomfortable journey, doesn't it? I propose that happiness is whatever we choose it to be every step of the way. So the dictionary says that the root of the word happiness is the same as the word habit, which I thought, what a fabulous quinky dink during Happiness Happens month, right? But here's a little snippet from Eric Butterworth that I really appreciate. He said, happiness is much more than the ecstasy that follows experiences of success, harmony, health, and peace. It says, true happiness is that spirit that enables one to retain inner peace in spite of troubles around him. It is the wings of life. We have thought of happiness as the result of certain conditions or experiences. And we expect to be happy when this or that happens. But actually, no thing can make us happy and yet anyone or anything can provide an excellent opportunity to release the flow of joy or to hide it under a bushel. Anybody just have the urge to break into song? There's always a song here in your head. But in every case, we are about as happy as we make up our minds to be, and it has little to do with circumstances. So take a breath. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio. Forget for just a moment the circumstances of the world that you may deem as bad, chaotic, unfortunate, tragic, disastrous, terrifying, all the stuff. Release your opinion of what your family members should be doing differently, even that one. Let that go for just a minute. And remember that nothing has the power to give you happiness. Anything, though, can release it because it's already within you. It can be the incentive to release this force that is a part of who you are. We talk about these 12 powers. We talk about the Christ presence within us. Well, it's not just there to be a fly on the wall. It's the essence of who you are. And you get to choose to express it or hide it under that bushel. Right? You know, we listen to beautiful musicians sharing their gifts. We see people out there doing the landscaping, you know, making places beautiful. And also include. And we see the people that have nothing to say but everything that's wrong in their opinion. So which side of the line are you on? And I know that it can be hard to know where to begin, especially if you're in the pattern of that. And it's not a judgment. If you are one of those chronic complainers in the world, don't beat yourself up for it because that's not going to make it any better, right? Just take a breath and consider another way. I'd like to share with you a reading from Paul Hasselbeck's book, The Point of Power. And he woke up with this, it's really a beautiful story. I'm just going to read you a snippet of it, but he woke up with this in the middle of the night after prayer and meditation, asking for some answers in his life. He says, "My dear one, the call to awaken is everywhere. It is in all things waiting patiently to be seen. I placed it there so that you cannot fail to see me wherever you look. All things are lessons from God, would have you learn, because the spark of God's reality is contained within everything. What you see is determined by what you want to see. It's not obvious by now that is it not obvious by now that I'm in everything that you see? Just set your sights on me and I will spring to your awareness. You cannot but see me in all that you do and say when your goal is eternal peace, because eternal peace is all around and through you. The call to awaken is present. Present, my dear one. I am here. I am here. I am here and everywhere. I am calling you from your reality to return to your reality. I am gently awaiting your change of mind. My dear one, all my gifts are yours just for this tiny decision. The decision to see me everywhere and in everything. If you feel peace, joy, and happiness, you have heard the call to awaken. Only you need remember me for me to be remembered by everyone. Only you need remember me to awaken me in everyone. Just one is all it takes, my dear one. All the corrections you see you want to make out there are just a mere reflection of the true change you want to make inside. Each time you perceive something you wish to change, let that be a reminder that you really want to change your mind. So if happiness seems like a stretch, turn within and see where you've been spending your time. And I don't mean out there in the busyness, I mean here. What is going on up here? You know, I think it's only human, where if we just let our mind run around like toddlers, that's how mine actually behaves. Now and then, I don't know about you, mine's like, you know, when we see the kids running, you're like, man, can you bottle that? And yet we want to bottle the energy, but we fail to see that it doesn't even have direction. Sometimes it looks like this. And it's like, whoa, do we really want that all the time? But yet, when my mind is out there running, sometimes it lands in like 8th grade when I had my by somebody I didn't even know in school, or it lands back in my teenage years where my parents said something I misinterpreted and I carried around in that backpack, with all the grudges. If you ever notice those kind of things running through your mind and how the emotion can feel real, even though it's decades ago, it still stirs up. The brain doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary. But it's still going to happen. They're still going to show up. So when you check in, if you check in often, if you're willing to be truly mindful in this present moment, you can observe kind of like birds in the sky. Now, if a flock of geese are flying over us, has anybody here ever tried to stop them? Knock yourself out. It might be fun to watch you do, but you're not going to succeed. Well, I guess you could in horrific ways, but let's not go that far. Chances are you're just going to go, you may not even take this much time, but at most you might go, birds, and you move on. You may not even do that, just a second. And yet, with our thoughts, we tend to obsess. Oh my goodness, look at them, they're flying over to they should do this, and we get in this spiral. And it, not only the birds, but my neighbor, and that person as well. We do this and we spend so much time there that we're really busy doing the opposite of looking for what's good, of spending time in happiness. So when you do that, turn back and just check in and go, wow, okay, birds, let them keep going. Isn't that what we do when we see them outside? Phew, there they go. Thank you for sharing. That's enough. And release that. So the key I propose to happiness is just minding your own mind. Minding your thoughts, your actions. What are you spending time doing? This is a part of my annual review, actually, of my life. Everybody checks in with their goals, with their little wheel of life, all this other kind of stuff. So I don't even think like it. I love it. It's good. I teach classes on it, workshops over here. I love it. And yet, for me, what I really check in with is where am I demanding or directing my time, my thoughts, my energy? And yes, many of us, or at least me, would love to direct more time to like the beach and less time to work. And we have to have balance. I still need work because apparently I have to pay the bills and work at the beach, right? But you get to spend your time and your energy in the way you wish up here in your mind and in your heart. Are you, so often in the hallways at work, good morning, how you doing? Oh, what are you? And it's a beautiful statement, but it's a complaint. Can you imagine if you said living the dream, you meant that? What would that look like to you? What would it look like if you lived the dream? For me, it would be to find the good in every moment. It would be to take joy in the simple things. I get comments a lot about me being in touch with my inner child. I don't see Diane here today, but Diane, Jet, and I have had some chances to play. And if you know her, you know she plays well. With bubbles and clowns and balloons. And we've had a couple experiences recently at the Indie Fest and then with Martha Creek to play with giant bubbles. And it was so funny because I looked around and parents were sitting. And the kids were playing with us. And the parents looked on as if they didn't know what to do with all of that. And yet, I'm pretty positive Diane and I were having more fun than the children. But when's the last time you saw a bubble almost as big as you? I mean, wouldn't that make your eyes sparkle? They're bubbles. Does anybody here wash dishes at home? Because if you do, you can make bubbles too. It's not even this magical destination that we need to hit the lottery to get to. It's right there in your Dawn dish soap. And it comes in so many forms. As a part of ministerial school, one of our assignments for the current term I'm in was to plan a personal retreat day. This should be 8 to 12 hours outside of your home, doing nothing like chores, dishes, and just things that bring you joy and care for your soul, care for yourself. And I thought, what does that mean to me? And it meant, like, first thing came to mind was massage. I did that yesterday. It was my personal retreat day. And I thought, well, for me, caring for my soul, for my spirit, what brings me joy? I went and walked 3 miles on the lake in nature, stepping around all those birds. And yet I didn't even have to complain about that, right? Because it was so beautiful. I was at. I painted in a beautiful painting. It doesn't take these grand gestures to find that happiness. So, you know, Connie said that you guys are looking at scriptures now, and I don't know where that was shared, but I was drawn to the scripture that I hadn't even heard before, so I'd like to share it with you. And it says, it's Proverbs 15, 13 to 15. It says, a glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouths of fools feed on folly. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but the cheerful of heart has a continual feast. A little short scripture made me giggle a little. Mouths of fools feed on folly. But it also brought comfort. Cheerful heart has a continual feast. And, you know, the truth is, it is all included. There are days that just feel heavy and not happy. We look out in the world, there will be things that happen that don't bring you joy or feel like happiness. But there's also all of the other going on as well. They coexist. And so it really can be a choice of yours as to what you focus on. It doesn't mean that you don't move through the parts that don't feel so great. But have you ever noticed when there's something going on that isn't fabulous? It can be grief and loss. It can be, you know, all the stuff going on in the world right now. It can be so many different things that can feel heavy. It can be loss of a job. It can be a broken arm. Actually, one of our board members from the condos I live in tripped and fell, broke both arms. Can you imagine? I mean, what in the world do you do then? Talk about a quick lesson in learning to accept help. And he's not real good at that, right? And yet, even he found the ability to take joy and be grateful for the service in which he was suddenly willing to receive. So while those are going on, it's really your choice to not squash what makes you feel happy. Because we do that when things are bad. I mean, and think about, it doesn't matter what it is. Like you said, it could be loss of a job or loss of a loved one, and it may not even be yours, it might be your friends. And all of a sudden we hold back the good news, or the excitement, or the celebration. A coworker, her grandmother passed, and my coworker just found out she was pregnant. And she said that she felt guilty for wanting to share that news because everybody was so sad about losing her grandmother. And yet, can you feel the healing just in the possibility of sharing that news that it could bring to the family? But we do that often. This proverb that I shared with you focuses on the heart. Think about this. A cheerful face indicates a positive attitude towards life. It doesn't mean that you always have to be smiling, although smiles feel good. This comes about when the inner self is healthy. When the inner self is healthy. So I ask you, how are you caring for your soul? It can be kind of a hokey question, right? Like a little bit woo-woo, but truly, how are you caring for you? Now you're here on a Sunday, so that's spiritual nourishment. But just like you need more food than on Sunday morning, or you won't make it through the week if you don't eat beyond Sunday morning, you need more nourishment besides that as well. Let's look at the next slide. It says, such a person has inner joy all the time, but circumstances, whether internal or external, can rob a person of tranquility. The key to gaining a joyful heart is in seeking knowledge, checking in. Where are my thoughts? What am I busy doing? Metaphysically, the heart is love, the affectional consciousness in man. Have you ever noticed that no matter what part of unity teachings we turn to, no matter the topic, it all comes back to consciousness? It's all within you. When we scan our body during meditation, we look within to remember the presence of Christ, and Christ's presence within you, in your mind, in your memories, in your goals, in your cells. Every couple weeks I volunteer. I'm a volunteer cuddler. That means I get to cuddle babies, newborn babies in the NICU, the ICU for babies, who are born addicted to drugs. The cuddling is physical therapy for them. And it's mind, body, spirit therapy for me. And I pray with them and do Reiki with them and, you know, do prayer for protection with them. And I also sing to them a little jingle. Every little star in your body is happy. when you have aches and creaks and pains? I mean, I know we'd be singing a lot, right? I've learned this whole over 50 thing. I should just constantly have that playing in my head, I think. But can you imagine if we affirm for ourselves that which we affirm for others? When you woke up and you just felt a little down, how would you respond to a friend? You need a hug? Can I listen? Have you ever taken the time just to go in and listen? I mean, that's what meditation is. Saying. Somebody told me they thought that meditation, they were trying to understand either the different things and asking really good questions. It wasn't even a difference of opinion, but wanting to understand. They said, oh, I thought meditation was when you shut out God. I'm like, oh, no, just the opposite. That's when we shut down our room, human ramblings, and the chaos of the sounds and the activities around us to go within to where God is. So if God is here, when's the last time you went inside to listen? Charles Fillmore emphasizes the power of the mind in shaping our reality. He encourages us to take responsibility, and I think that's the part so many shrink back from. But to take responsibility for your thoughts, your beliefs, and your roles in how you create this abundance, your health, your happiness. So are you an active participant? Or are you sitting back waiting and blaming? Because there's lots to blame. The world, the people, one of my coworkers, it's funny whenever something is frustrating, and I'm like, oh, humans, they're the problem. I said, yeah, they're the solution. They're a little bit of both, aren't they? But it's true. So when you're busy being upset about whatever it is, look in the mirror. Go there and check in and say, well, what are you thinking about? What are you doing about it? For me, when there's something in the world that I want different, I check in and say, what is mine to do? And here's my health tip for the week. Sometimes the answer to that is, let it go. It's not in your control. We're really busy being about other people's business, aren't we? Really busy. But also it's our perspective. So I want to ask you, what do you want more than anything else in the world? Just bring it to mind right now. If you could just one thing, more than anything else in the world, what do you want? And some of us might be like, that man of my dreams, that beautiful red Corvette, whatever it is, it might be something out there. And those are wrong. I wouldn't mind one of each. But what you really want from those things, whatever you think it is, I want somebody to fix my dishwasher, whatever it is, right? It can be small, it can be big. I want peace, I want everybody to be stuck, being so noisy. What you really want is here. It's not so much out there, but what you want is what it'll bring to you. Essentially, what we want really is a matter of peace of mind. And it was so perfect, this inner peace for our daily word today. But to keep happy, we have to keep checking in. We have to keep minding our mind. This is one of the greatest teachings of Jesus. He said, except ye turn and become as a little child, you shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. There's no other way. Think about children. Yeah, again, I get teased a lot, teased, or sometimes some people word it as, oh, I love how you're so willing to be in touch with your inner child. And what they mean is I don't understand it at all. But it's fun to watch. I just can't participate. That feels immature, whatever, right? But think about children. This is the part I love about being a youth director. They're so open, they're so honest. If they need to, they'll have a temper tantrum and throw themselves on the ground. They'll scream, they'll cry, they'll yell, and then they'll be like, okay, what do we do next? That's not what I want to eat. And they eat it anyways because they're told to. They're like, okay, I'm full now what? We answer. If we can be like children, if we go out in the world looking for the wonder and the awe. It's funny, I think I was a better tourist out there than the guy from Germany, because I'm like, ooh, look at the pottery on top of that building. Oh my goodness, look at this. And I was like that little child, where so many of us can go through these places where we are all the time and not see anything, even not see each other. This famous psychologist, I may say his name wrong, Hayek? Anyways, he said, the only normal mind is the child's mind. He might have added that the only way to add happiness is through a child because they use their mind through imagination, their will. I mean, they can accomplish anything they want to because they don't know that it's not possible. They can find joy in the simplest thing and be like, here, go do something with this. And they'll be like, ooh, it's a rocket through space. Well, we're like, it's a pen. But isn't it more fun if it's a rocket flying through space? Whatever it is, right? We can't make ourselves or anyone else be happy because it's within us. We can't force it, but we can allow it. We can welcome it. We can inspire it. We can release it. Children are inspired just by life, by each other. So I want you to consider a shift in the way you perceive. And I'm going to share with you, this is a book by actually one of my mentors in ministerial school, Reverend Doug, and it's called Resonance. Filled with beautiful, short, thought-provoking pieces. And this one is about abundant blessings. Sometimes, as they say, when it rains, it pours. And this is typically referring to a series of challenges that come crashing into our life. Yet, sometimes this is an adequate description. But, what if we consider a new approach? Charles Fillmore writes that in the meaning of rain is an outpouring of spirit that constantly refreshes and enriches the development of thoughts, the descent of potential ideas into substance. The rain that watereth the earth represents the love of God, which comes into mind when summoned and needed. So today, I invite you to see the common phrase, when it rains, it pours, as raining sweet blessings and pouring those blessings into glorious, thoughtful expression of good into your life and our world. Rather than allow anxiety, worry, or fear to take the lead, we give our power to the gardens of faith, knowing the highest good is always unfolding and growing. Let it rain wonderful blessings. Now, he invites us to name 3 blessings or positive aspects currently present in your life. So I invite you just to take a moment to think about that, to bring that to mind. 3 things, the first 3 things that pop in your head. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I see so much joy around the coffee machine at work. Maybe that's one of the things that morning coffee. I don't get it, but that doesn't mean it's not right for you, right? 3 things, simple things. Because if we are going to be like children, then we just have to be willing to see beyond what we think should be and embrace what is all around us. As a part of Reverend Doug's book, he created this thought, this little pin on it says peace, unity, laughter, and love. But the message is to be peace, to live unity, to cherish laughter, and to share love. That's not the word, is it? It's not. Anyway. There we go. So what would it look like to you if you could embrace those thoughts? If you were willing to go looking for what's good, to be happiness. If you're going to be happiness today, what would that look like for you? Happiness Happens Month. We're at the beginning of August. This is an opportunity. Many of you know that at least once a year I accept the 100 Days of Happiness Challenge. And this was started by a young man in another country when he was 26 years old and was struggling. Always down, always just struggling with depression, anxiety, fear. And his friends challenged him on that. They're like, dude, look at all the things going right in your life. He's like, you're right. I just need to focus on them more. And so he started this. He said, all right, I want you to hold me accountable. And I'm challenging you to this, whether the challenge or a different way. He said, I'm going to post, I think he did on Instagram, something every day for 100 days that brought me a little spark of happiness that day. And I'm going to share it. And again, it doesn't have to be that outward destination. It might be today I remembered when my grandmother used to sing a song to me when I was little. Whatever. Today I found the coolest seasonal creamer for my hot cocoa, because I don't drink coffee. Whatever it is. And every time I do that, I do it on Facebook, I always get people that say, oh my goodness, today you reminded me when I thought today was so bad that there were so many sparks of joy throughout it. Thank you for that reminder. So maybe online or share it with somebody. Or maybe you just make the decision to go out and look and discover and see where it's at. And to check in when you don't witness it to see where is your mind. Because it's all in your state of consciousness. So I'd like to close with another reading from this book to allow this resonance to go a little deeper. Resonance, you see, is the subtle heartbeat of our interconnected existence. So I want you to feel the pull. See the acronym there, pull. The holy tug of the universe calling us to pause and be aware. Let's not look away, but look within. Let's not withdraw, but connect more deeply. Let's not forget our call to serve, but to embrace it with renewed dedication. Let's listen to the resonance of the divine in all ways and in all life. The pull invites us into the shared experience of resonance. Let's be peace. Live unity. Cherish laughter. And share love. Feel the pull. Explore the resonance. My friends, as we go into this week, I invite you to choose happiness. To allow yourself to check in and see what it is you may be focusing on, what it is you may be holding in mind, and what it is you may be ready and willing to let go of. Unpack that backpack. Set aside the grudges. Set aside the unforgiveness. And free yourself. Be free. Feel free. Give yourself the permission to be free to choose happiness. Because it's all a state of mind. It's all a matter of consciousness. And if you remember that you are whole and that within you the Christ's presence is always expressing, then you can choose what that might look like. And you can choose to remind others along your journey. Let's just take a deep breath now. There's a picture in our mind what that looks like. Just take a moment before we go into the Lord's Prayer. Bring to mind what that can look like for you. What are you being pulled towards? What are you ready to release? And are you willing to express it? Let's make it happen. As we get ready to sing the Lord's Prayer, take these words also into your heart. This isn't just a prayer that's found off of, it's an affirmation of our truth, of our opportunity, of the kingdom of heaven that is living within us, available for us to express. It's not an outward place to get to. The kingdom of heaven is right here, right now, available always.
Amen.
tithes and offerings. And I invite you to take your tithe in your hand, and even if you're not giving up a monetary donation today, hold in your hand love. Because tithing is so much more than just the contributions we make that support this church and this community. But even more than that, tithing is our time, our talent, our treasure, our love, our support, the gifts we give and share. And most importantly, tithing is our opportunity to acknowledge God as our source. God is supplying for our every need in many ways, in ways that we don't even sometimes acknowledge. Not just through that payment that we're experiencing or expecting from whatever source it is, but our needs are met through one another, through unknown sources. God moves in and through it as each of us. Sometimes we are that tithing for someone else. We are that gift. We are that needy source. So really take that in and let's bless our offering. Let's hold it and picture in our mind's eye all of our needs being met and all the needs of the world being met. Not only through our financial contributions, but through our love, through our kindness, through God expressing through and as us. Together we say our offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyfully and easily, for the universe is my source, and abundance is my nature. So we know that as we give, it's pressed down, shaken together, running over, returns to us multiplied. So as you give of your time, your talent, your treasure, give with love. Give with an affirmation of knowing that as you give, it is being returned. As you give of your love and your time, it is being returned to you. As you give in every way, know that what you're putting out is coming back to you. And allow that to be a source of happiness, to be a source of joy. And so it is we bless these tithes and we offer these offerings, and we know that they are going out to bless this community and far beyond. And so it is.
So the world starts to get and people are just climb way up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space. On the road, it's peaceful as can be. Let the world below and bother me. Let me tell you now that I come home feeling tired and I go up to whatever, stretching the seas. Let's go away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. On the roof's the only place I know where you just have to wish to make it so. Let's go up on the roof. At night the stars put on a show for free. And darling, you can share it all with me. Let me tell you now, right smack down in the middle of town, I found a paradise, and it's trouble proof. So if this world starts getting you down, there's really nothing to do. On the roof, up on the roof.
on August 3rd. Abby, JC, and Kim. Is that right? All on August 3rd?
Well, Kim, not Kim's, but it's Kim's grandkids, Abby and Jace. It's their birthday on August 3rd.
Okay, great. August 4th is Mary Ann Cusoni. August 17th is Linda Ridley. August 19th is Anita Cope. August 23rd, Marion Upper. August 26th, Melanie Lee. And August 30th, Sharon Carrico.
Let's begin this outward expression now. The light of God